Welcome to SkewbSchool. In this episode I will be talking about pseudo layers. Pseudo layers is a technique we can use when you have a twisted corner in the bottom layer and a soft corner in one of these two positions. 2/3 of the time you will have a soft corner in one of these positions. This is an example from when you don't have a soft corner, and then you won't be able to do this technique. So how does the technique work? So we have a twisted corner here, and we put this corner in the bottom layer, and then we have 4 unsolved corners. So we do a last layer alk, and this corner won't be affected, and then we bring this corner up. So now I will show some examples. So this is the first one. You can find the scrambles of all the examples in the description so you can follow along. So now I will show you how you can recognize the pseudo layer. So the corners are really easy. So you look at the soft corner, that's this one. You look to the opposite one, and when the top color is here, it will move to here, and when it's here, it will move to here. So it will never be on top. So you won't be able to get cases where all the corners are solved. So now we will have peanut with headlights over here, and then we will start looking at the centers. So when you have a solved center, after the pseudo layer it will still be solved. So now we know this is solved, and when we have 2 pieces that have to swap, after the setup move they still will have to swap. So we have a swap here and a swap here. So when we do the setup move, these 2 still have to swap, and these 2 have to swap. And we have headlights over here and a solved center here. So that's this case. So we have a solved center here and here. These 2 have to swap, and these 2. So for this case we have to do a hedge here, then a hedge here, and then a sledge here back again. So now we will do it here. So we do a hedge here, then we do a hedge here, and we do a sledge, and we undo the setup move, and the cube is solved. So this is the next case. So now we have 3 solved corners, but you can recognize the corners the same way. So this will stay in the same place, and you look at the opposite corner to this one. The top corner is here, so it will move to here. We can also see we have 2 solved centers and a U-perm, and when we do the setup move, the solved centers will move here. An easy trick to recognize in which way the U-perm will go after the setup move is the opposite center before the setup move won't be the opposite center after the setup move. So the U-perm are these centers, so this one can't be it because it was the opposite center. So this one has to be the opposite center. So we have 2 solved centers here, the opposite center here, and peanut this way. So that's this case. And when you do advanced, you have to do a sledge here, a sledge here, and you can cancel these sledges if you don't know how to do it. I have a video on it in the playlist of SkewbSchool. And then you have to do a hedge here. So you have to do a sledge here, then another sledge here, and a hedge. So now we will look how we can do the undo of the setup move. So we have to bring this up. So when we do a sledge, and in the final position we will be here. So to bring it up, we will have to do a back move like that. So then we execute it, we do a sledge, another sledge, a hedge, and then do the undo of the setup move. So on this scramble we have 2 solved centers, so you have 2 possibilities you can have. You can have a U-perm or O-perm. So now we have a U-perm. So what we look for then is when we do the setup move, we see that the 2 solved centers are opposite, so we know we have a U-perm, and then we see white will come here, so the opposite is here. Then we look at the corners, so the solved corner is here, and we look at the opposite one, so the top color will be here. So we have pi with headlights over here and the two soft centers here with the opposite center here. So that's this case. So it's a pretty easy one. So we would have to do sledge here and then a hedge here, and after it we will have to do this move to put the soft corner back in its place. So we do a sledge here, then a hedge here, and then we can see we can do the undo of the setup move as a B move. So the solution would be do the setup move, do a sledge, then a hedge, and then that B move. So this is the next scramble. So we have 3 soft corners, so we will know we have a peanut case. So for the corners we look at the opposite corner of this one. It's this one. The top color is here, so it will go here. So we have peanuts with the top centers facing this way. Then we will look at the U center. So green has to go here, so after the setup move green will have to go here. So green will become the U center. So then we look where green is. Green is here. So the top center will be here. And then we will start looking for opposite centers. So I usually start with the ones that are affected by the setup move. So when we do the setup move, we can see blue is here, and opposite to it blue has to go, so it is an opposite center. And with orange the same case. So we have U center here, 2 opposite centers here, and peanut like this. So that's this case. Again, you can cancel the hedges into each other because you have to do a hedge here and a hedge here. So then we look how we can have to do the undo of the setup move. So we have to bring this one up, and the last move of the hedge we also have to bring it up, so we can cancel it out by just going down. So we do a hedge, then we do the other hedge, then instead of going twice up we can do one down move. So this is the next scramble. So we have 3 soft corners, so we know we will get a peanut case. So we look opposite to this, the top color will come here, so we have peanut with the U colors facing that way. Now we see that we have a watt perm, so that's when you have one opposite center. One trick you can do with opposite centers, as with the U perm, when you have an opposite center, it can't become an opposite center after the setup move. So when you have opposite centers, you don't have to look at them because they won't become opposite centers. So when we do the setup move, we see green will have to go to the top, so green is the U center and green is here. Then we will go start looking for opposite centers. So I always start with the ones that get affected by the setup move. So then we look, we have orange here, and orange has to go here, so it's an opposite center. And then we have white, so we look at the opposite side. It isn't white, so it isn't an opposite center. Then we will go start looking at another one. So this is the last one we have to check. Then we see when we do the setup move, red has to come here. So it's opposite to this red, so red will become opposite. So then we have the U center here, an opposite center here, and an other opposite center here with the top color facing that way. So it's this case. So we have to do a sledge here and then a hedge here. So after the setup move we will have to do a sledge here and a hedge here. And then we will look at how we have to do the setup move. So we do a sledge here, then we will have to do a hedge here, and we have to do another move like that because we will have to bring this back up. So now we execute it. So we bring the corner to the bottom layer, we do a sledge, then we do a hedge, and we undo the setup move.